already mentioned, maybe I'll mention it again, on Saturday evening, Saturday, I guess, night, at least on the East Coast, I will be competing in a benefit charity benefit game show on the Lord and Arts channel. I see that he already has put a reminder up. The video, like the link to the video and everything, is already posted, and you can go on there to remind yourself, and it'll send you like an email or send you some sort of reminder that it's starting. I am tuning in at like 8:30 because we'll get sorted out any technical issues that any of us may have. And then the game show will start at 9. I'm guessing it will go for about an hour. So it's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern, of course, 6 Pacific. Christine says, my husband does HVAC at least once a year. Jill says 3 months, run, don't walk to get one. Okay, Jill. Susan, hey, everyone. Kelly, it's so much fun. So I'm excited too, Kelly. I'm excited to be that he asked me to do this, and I'll be there. Cherie is, I think that is the link to the game show on Saturday night. So if you want to copy what Cherie just posted there, that'll make it real nice and easy for Saturday night. Susan says, I like the girls from Corpus Delicti too. I saw that. I guess there's 2 of them. There'll be 4 of us. I guess that podcast has 2 hosts, Susan. It seems like you know that program. I do not. And then also Aaron from Generation Y will be competing. I know Justin from Generation Y. I do not know Aaron, so that should be neat. So I'm guessing there will be 4 of us, and we'll be competing. If you've watched any of the prior episodes of this game show, it's just don't know which way it's going to go. I think you have to pick some percentages with people and certain percentages of people's opinions on things. I guess kind of like Family Feud, or going way back to Card Sharks, that game show from the 70s and 80s. It's kind of like that. I saw one where they have to write jokes, using particular subjects or topics, and some other things. So we'll see, we'll see what happens. And I think there was another one where you had to make up a fake definition for a word, which reminds me of a Balderdash. I don't know if any of you have ever played the board game Balderdash, which is that kind of game where you have to make up the definitions of words. And that's one of my mother and father's favorite games. I've only played it a few times. So I see some similarities to some other types of games that I've played or have seen on game shows. So we'll see what happens. I'm a competitive guy. So we'll see how it goes. Christine says, I forgot that you're in Florida. Yeah, I am in Florida, Christine, for sure. Susan's, the girls are very Southern. Okay, Susan. Christine says, 3 months sounds right. LaFord says, loved Card Sharks. Me too. Kelly says, there's audience participation too. That's right. There is. And so I'm hoping for all of you who do watch that you will participate. Hello, Ann. How are you? Cherie says, I saw one where they wrote raps. Well, we'll see if maybe I'll just bring out my inner Eminem and everything, or inner Beastie Boys, and everything should be fine. Kathy, yep, played Balderdash years ago. Christine, thank you, Christine, for wishing me good luck. I appreciate that. So I'm looking forward to that. I have an anticipation. Probably I'm going to be a little nervous. So we'll see how I handle that. But we can't also, there's that. And that's, once again, that starts at 9 p.m. Eastern on Saturday night on the Lorden Arts channel, otherwise known, I think that most people know John Lorden for his show Brain Scratch. So I hope you will all join in Saturday night if you're not doing something else. What's coming up more directly is tomorrow I will be doing my interview with Dr. Grace Telesco from Nova Southeastern University. And that will be on Facebook Live on the Fischler, let me see if I get this right, College of Education and School of Criminal Justice page on Facebook, a Facebook Live show. We will be using Zoom. And I really haven't decided yet whether I'm going to use this microphone for that interview or not. I may just do it the way you saw for the, whatever it was, the 8-minute preview. And because I think the audio for that came out just fine. And it's just the two of us talking. So I don't think that will be as big a deal. Whereas I think with John and wanting a microphone and headphones is because there's possibility of a lot of overlapping of talking, and everybody's in different locations. And, you might get some feedback and things like that. So I understand that. But tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, I will be on with Dr. Grace Telesco. I'm really looking forward to that. And there's going to be 3 particular topics that we are going to be covering. We're going to be talking about just about missing persons and disappearances in general. Then we will be talking about the disappearance of Dorian Myers. Specifically, I'll be talking about some of the facts from her disappearance, and I'll have to type something up, I'm sure, before I have them as notes for that discussion. And then also, I'm not saying finally, I don't know what order we'll do them, but then also we will be talking about coordinating with families, talking to families, working with families from both an investigation standpoint and from an emotional standpoint. And you should know that Dr. Telesco, she may be an academic now, but she is former NYPD, so she is hardcore law enforcement. And she was with the NYPD when 9/11 happened. So I'm sure that she will be talking about that, her experiences with people who are suffering grief and experiencing that day. We'll probably talk about that at least a little bit. And she will be sharing some of her experiences, I'm sure, with talking to families, not just with about 9/11, but murders, other situations. And then I will be talking about my experience talking with families regarding missing persons cases in general, which is what I've been doing for the last 3.5 years. She says that the interview is going to go an hour. I am sure it will go very quickly. Heather says, inner M&M would work, says Marcy, but Heather says, I'm certain you do not have an inner M&M. Heather, if you only knew. Go through that again. Tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. Eastern, on the Nova Southeastern University's Fischler, once again, College of Education and School of Criminal Justice. Dr. Grace Telesco will be interviewing me on there, and it's going to be a live Facebook live show on their page, not on the Unfound page, not on YouTube, not on Instagram, but on their page. It's a public page. It's not a group. It's a public page. And so please be looking for that. I'm guessing you'll have to go. It'll be playing if you get there early. I'm sure there'll be some sort of link or something where all you'll have to do is click on it at the appropriate time and it will play, or it might play automatically. I'm kind of forgetting how that used to work when we used to do this show on Facebook. But I'm sure if you get to the Fischler College of Education and School of Criminal Justice page around 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, I'm pretty sure you'll figure it out. And we'll be using Zoom, but it will be playing over Facebook. And then on Saturday, once again, 9 p.m. Eastern, on the Lord and Arts channel on YouTube, right here where you are now, I will be participating with the 2 of the hosts from Corpus Delicti, and then Aaron from Generation Y in a game show that John Lorden has been hosting, I'm guessing, for about 6 weeks now or something. And it's for charity. It's for Feeding America. So I hope if you're watching that you will consider contributing to that cause. It's not just a game show, as somebody pointed out. It is also, there's some audience participation involved as well. So I hope you have fun with that. So let's get to this Friday. I've already set it up, telling you why it's happening this particular week. It was because of a think tank member. Her name's Tammy, who heard that the guest for this week flaked. So she said, why don't you interview all of your assistants? So I did, except for one. Now, the reason Eric did not get interviewed is because he's already been on the program. He was on it about 3 years ago. He was the guest for the Donna Mikalenko episode. And he and I had met not long before that. As I always mention, he and I went to the same college, although I graduated before he started at Grove City. And we're both from Western Pennsylvania, and I've had a chance to have lunch with him a couple times. But he is one of my assistants for the program. But being that he was already on the program once, had already been interviewed, had already gotten to talk about himself and his interest in missing persons cases, etc., I thought, well, he's had his chance. Let's give everybody else a chance. So now everybody can say they've been on the program once. So I interviewed Emily and Cherie on Monday. I interviewed Natasha, Carrie, and Heather yesterday. And so you are going to hear my interviews with all of my assistants this Friday. It's going to be a kind of a long episode, as you would probably imagine. But what we talk about is they talk about themselves, what goes on in their lives. We talk about how they first became interested in true crime, if that's actually something that happened. We talk about how they first heard about Unfound. Maybe their first, do they remember talking to me for the first time, through Messenger in the group or whatever. We talk about, and then we move on to how they became a part of the team on Unfound and what their responsibilities are, and what it's been like to see kind of behind the scenes of how all this happens. So they all did a great job, even though I think that they are somewhat nervous about how they came across. I can assure all of them that they did a fine job. And I'm really looking forward to all of you hearing from them. And then in the process of this episode, I also talk a little bit about myself and how in the past I have had problems working with people. The truth is, in the jobs that I've had in my life, I've always felt much more comfortable when I was working alone. I didn't have to answer to anybody. I didn't have to collaborate with anybody. And as you would probably predict, that got me, in some tight situations. And I kind of talk about that. And I also talk about, what has been different. What is it about Unfound and doing this program where it's like the exact opposite, where I go to all of these people for advice. We talk about all sorts of different things, and they come up with a lot of great ideas that are now part of Unfound. For example, Cherie here in the show tonight, she was the person who came up with the idea for the think tank. So I talk a little bit about that and kind of a change that I've had, kind of probably in the last 10 years or something like that. So I hope you enjoy it. It's called The Team Episode. And like I said, it's going to be a little long on Friday, but you're going to get to hear from Emily, Cherie, Carrie, Heather, and Natasha in that order. And that's about it. I think that the chat has gotten disconnected or something like that. So I don't know what happened there. But, and I'm thinking we are surely going to have a disappearance next week, because I have an interview scheduled for tomorrow night after my interview with Dr. Telesco. And I believe that this mother of him is very eager to come on the program. We've had a lot of great conversations, and I actually exchanged texts with her today, and she assures me, she's really looking forward to doing the interview. So we will surely get back to disappearances next Friday. And the thing is, the last couple weeks, they kind of went the way they were supposed to go anyway. I knew that I was going to be doing an in memoriam for Austin Pivo, and I knew I was going to be doing the Q&A episode. So really the only week that we've missed regarding a disappearance is this one, and it's because somebody flaked. So what do we do? It's been beautiful here. I talked about the Austin Pivo poll. Dr. Grace Telesco, remember, tomorrow, 6 p.m. at the Fischler College of Education and School of Criminal Justice Facebook page, 6 p.m. Eastern, Facebook Live. Saturday, the game show on the Lord and Arts channel, 9 p.m. Eastern. Not on this YouTube channel, not on Unfound's YouTube channel, on the Lord and Arts channel. Talked about patent trolls, talked about flakes, talked about the Mexico video, talked about how we're back on Twitter, talked about Vanessa Guillen disappearing from Fort Hood. We talked about the two girls who were missing, it seems their car with 2 bodies in it has been found in North Carolina. Took some questions from all of you and finished up with this Friday's episode, the team episode, where I interview all of my assistants except Eric. Good night, everyone. I know it seems like the chat is down. I don't know what to tell you, but thank you all for tuning in tonight, and you'll hear me Friday along with all of my assistants. I can't wait. Good night.